Okay, all right. So I'm in the middle of doing a transfer with my other phone, so I don't turn on the light just yet. But I don't know. Oddly enough, I don't think this looked that terrible. I mean, I only use the light so that it's, you know, a little bit more presentable, but you know. So let me see how much of the way I have left. Alright, just a little bit over 50%. I made a series of videos that I can't wait to post. But yeah, just in case. So okay, let me try and articulate my intention. So I always put this on the board because I want to encourage people to go to this on all platforms, TikTok, or rather what I call Wi-Fi, which stands for WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Right? So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for a little transfer for complete, and then when we don't know, can just get on with the show. Now I made a video about this and how to make this easier to use so that you don't have any confusion going forward. And it don't matter whether you have like 2 minus signs and a plus, or 2 plus signs and a minus, or whatever, you know. But I will literally. So okay, the example I used was this. I used this example, right? And again, I'll soon go for the light so I can make this a little bit more visible. But yeah, so this is the A in front of the x squared, the B in front of the x, and in this value there is C. And if we know those values, then we can substitute them in that. But I found a better way to actually do it, so that way you're not wasting a lot of time figuring out what should go under the square root, what should be the denominator, and what should go right here. Yeah, so yeah, almost done. But in the meantime, I'll just write down a few things. So okay, so we have a minus b, we have a b squared, a 4ac, and a 2a. So that means it's really 4 things we're working with. Hold on there, don't we? See, it look a little, not even look 100 like how it's supposed to look. So as soon as that transfer done, which it almost is, it's like 96% of the way now. Just wait when it's done so I can plug it out. Listen man, this is why you need like bigger hard drives, you know, more storage on every device, like 256 going up. Right? Alright, cool. Alright, good. Alright, I'm done with that now. Yeah, it would be nice if my phone to turn on. Alright, so I'll turn on the no. Alright, so let's see. Alright, see? Yeah, that's infinitely better than what I had before. Dear God, the light make a difference. Yeah. So okay, right. So if we're writing this, you know, I should write it in black so that it's a little bit, you know, separated from Yeah. So this A line up with that 20. This B line up with that 9, and whatever sign is in front of the 9 you keep. So if it's a plus 9, it's a positive 9. If it's a minus 9, you put minus 9. And then the C is again, not go be 20, go be minus 20, right? So that's what we want to remember that. So this is 20. This positive 9. This minus 20. And it's also possible for this to happen. So since you have the possibility of plus minus, you also can have minus minus, in which case, hold on, good lord, sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. Right? So the thing that would trip up most people, and I made a whole video about that, which I'll probably go post up later. The minus signs, we have to be careful with them, because that's the thing that will trip you up with all of these substitutions that you're going to do. Because in this case, when b is equal to minus 9, when we substitute it here, we're going to end up with minus, call it minus 1 times minus 9, and minus times a minus, that will be plus, and you end up with a plus 9. Now I could actually give a breakdown of that. I can't always write the whole of this back. So let me try and explain that first. Alright? So let's say you have 4 possibilities. You have this, let's make sure it's set. Okay. So those are 4 of your possibilities, right? So here's the way I see it. There are different ways that people look at this, but I go tell you how I translate this. The plus signs accept you as you are, right? So if you, let's say you show up to me as a positive, right? Then if you show up to me as a positive, you remain positive. So I am not trying to change you, right? Same thing down here. If you show up to me negative, I am not going to try to change you. I'll accept you as you are, right? So you have that. Yeah? So plus times plus, yeah, positive, plus times minus, negative, because I accept you as you are. Now this is where it gets different now. This is me saying, you're too happy, me not like it, you need for miserable like me. Right? So you show up to me, you're happy. But me don't want that. I want you to be just like me. Misery loves company, if you want to call it that. And then now, this now is like one of them cowboy movie there, right? There's not enough space in the world for the two of us. Therefore, it's only one of we can bad. Two of we can bad. Is either the sheriff or the outlaw. It now gonna be the two of we. The two of we can't coexist, right? So therefore, because of that, well, you have to go switch and become positive, right? But that's just the, you know, that is my way of translating it, right? That's my way of doing that. No. Here's another way you can look at it. When the signs are the same, it come out positive, right? So this times this, come out positive. This times this, come out positive. When the signs are different, them come out negative. Yeah? So that's an alternative way of looking at that. So let us say you were now to put numbers to all of this. So let's say you had positive 6, positive 5, obviously that is positive 30. If you have positive 6 with a negative 5, you'll end up with a negative 30. Right? Again, minus 6 by a positive 5, same thing, end up with a negative 30. So hold on, let me move this a little bit. Yeah, and then now, lastly, a minus 6 times a minus 5 result in a positive 30, right? So sometimes it's good to get the, what you call it now, the visual of it, so that way when you apply it to the numbers, it actually makes sense, right? So since you know what the outcome of them would be beforehand, you can focus on what the sign is going to be, and then of course the numbers, they're not going to change. 6 times 5 is always 30. The only thing that will change is whether or not it will be positive or negative, depending on what number is positive or negative. Both of them positive, them come out positive. Both of them negative, come out positive. One of them being different, make it different, right? So it don't matter how you want to view it. That's the reason why when you have this here, the b being minus 9, when you have minus b, you cannot write back minus 9, because what you're going to end up with is minus 9, which is basically like saying minus 1 times minus 9, right? Just, and then of course when you multiply a minus by a minus, it becomes, yeah, it cancels out, right? So I wanted to explain that, so that when I do everything else, it makes sense. So when I went to school, this was beaten into my memory. Yeah, so I instinctively remember this, right? Now, instead of us wasting time trying to put them in individually, right? I come up with a little method to my madness, right? So I could write them somewhere over here. So let's say I have minus b. Oh, you can't even see that. Look at me. Hold on there. Oh, that is actually crazy. You can't see that. Alright, let me move that over a little bit then, yeah? Alright. So let me write minus b. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, only God knows why I was, off screen. Right? So we have minus b. We have b squared. Yeah, I guess we could be technical and call it minus 4ac, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to call it 4ac. We don't have time for all of that foolishness. Right? You know what? Here we go. Let me do it like this. So we have minus b here. We have b squared here. We have 4ac and we have 2a. So let us okay. So obviously, to make this easier, I need to remember what A, B, and C is. So let me just write that. So we need A, we need B, and we need C. Why? I thought I had enough space. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. So the A being 20, the B being minus 9, and the C being minus 20. Right? So that's what we need. But you know what? Since I already did this, I'll get rid of that part right here, so, and we can put them here. So that way, because typically that's what you're going to do anyway, right? So A is 20, B is minus 9, minus 20. Alright, so let me go back over here now. Yeah. So now this is what we're going to use and plug them in to that right here. Right? Now if B is minus 9, then minus B is going to be positive 9. Right? So might as well just do that. Now you can do the multiplication if you want, but you still go get the same thing. Right? Because this is B times 1, this is B times minus 1. Minus 1 times that give you the plus 9. Right? Now, when you square B and the B is minus 9, B times B is B squared. Minus 9 times minus 9, as you remember, when you multiply two negatives, they come out positive. So that's why 9 by 9 is going to be 81. It will come out to be a positive 81. So we have that. Now we have 4AC. Now to make that easier, we always use the AC method when we're doing the way that we factorize this, right? So we always instinctively go towards multiplying this by that. So fine, 20 times 20, that's 400. Now you can use the prime numbers to get that. That's you know what? It's alright. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to make any little drill that I think everybody should know. I will make that separate from this that I'm doing right here. So 20 times 20, 400, and it's a minus 400. Now, here's what make it nice, right? When you're multiplying a number by 4, here's a cheat code that you can use. To multiply a number by 2, you take that number, add it to itself. The answer you get for that, add that to itself, and you have multiplied it by 4. Right? So, say for instance, in this case, we have what? 20 times 20, we have 400. So, 400 is AC. To get 2 AC, we add 400 to 400, so that's going to be 800. So if we want to get now 4 AC now, we'll add 800 to 800. So that's going to be 1600, right? Now, you can't get caught in this trap where, you know, you get so caught up in trying to find out what this is that we forget that there's a minus sign in there, right? But if you get it right from the onset, because sometimes it happened to me where I write the correct answer and I completely forget the minus sign, right? And then you're doing the question and you don't know why it look wrong or it feel wrong, right? And then you remember, say, wait, you had a minus sign there and you did forget it. So that will happen from time to time. You just have to remember if there's a minus sign there, right? Now, if it's just this, then you don't have a problem. But because you have a minus sign, we have to be careful with it. The minus signs typically make most questions a little bit more challenging in that we cannot be careless with it then. So when you multiply 20 by 20, we get 400. Add 400 to 400, 800. 800 to 800, 1600. So therefore, I might be tempted to write my answer and leave it like this. Right? Let me see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Now, another thing that you can do to remember, if you originally got minus 400, when you add minus 400 to minus 400, you're going to get minus 800. So if you add minus 800 to minus 800, you're going to get minus 1600. So therefore, even if you're just working with the knowledge of integers, you're going to remember, say, yeah, you need a minus sign. Yeah? So we just have to be careful with that. Now, 2a easy, because a is 20, so just add 20 plus 20, you get 40, there you go. So we're done now. Now, when you have this now, you don't have to waste any time. You can just start replacing each of them with what we have here. Yeah, you can literally just replace them. Right? So we can do them one by one. So the minus b was this. I'm going to rub out this and put the plus 9 there. Right? Well, I not even have to put plus 81. I mean, you already know say positive, but yeah. Now, b squared is 81, so we can put that. Can put that here. Right, so we substitute two of them so far. Now we have minus 4ac. And you know, say, we could have literally do that. That'll make our life easier, you know. We could have used minus 4ac. Because watch the joke. If 4ac is minus 1600, then minus 4ac is going to be a positive 1600. So that way it eliminates the confusion that you have. Because if we do it like this, we're going to put in minus 1600. But what if we never do that? What if we say, make we call it minus 4AC from the get-go? In that case, this becomes positive, right? You could literally put a plus sign in front of that. Yeah? And therefore, when you're replacing minus 4AC, what you do? You put that. Yeah, I never considered that before. Imagine just instead of using 4AC, use minus 4AC, so that when you get to this part, you just, the middle becomes positive when that happens. And then now the 2A is 40, so you just rub out that and you replace it with 40. And this will work with whatever series of numbers them give you, right? It no matter. And then there's another trick that I like to do, right? Let's say, okay, under the square root, right, you have 1600 and you have the 81. When you add them, obviously you're gonna get you're going to get 1681. So let's put that. Let's put that there. Now, you can almost guess what this going to be. Because you have some square numbers that, say for instance, we know that if we square this, we're going to end up with that. So meaning if we multiply 40 by 40, we're supposed to get that. So the question is, if this is 40 times 40, and let us say you're trying to find out when you look at the number 1681, it's bigger than this, but smaller than that. So it have to fall somewhere between the 40 and the 50. Right? You're just not sure where it is. And then the other part of it too is that there are only so few numbers that when you multiply them, they end with a 1. Especially when they're squared numbers. So numbers that end with a 1, when you square them, is like numbers ending with 1, like 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, going on and on, right? The other possibility is 9 by 9, 19 by 19, 29 by 29, 39 by 39, going on. So therefore, because it ends with a 1, it's either the number must be either 41 times 41 or 49 times 49. But guess what? This is a little, 49 times 49 would be a lot closer to this number. So it wouldn't make sense for us to even use 49. Because the number will be too big. But let us say we're never sure, right? Fine. We can trick the system. So what could we do if we wanted to find